There comes a point in life when you realize that just trying isn't enough anymore. That motivation without direction is just wasted fuel. That motivational quotes help, but they don't replace a real system. And in the end, the money game doesn't reward the ones who run the fastest. It rewards the ones who run smart. If I had to build wealth from scratch today, not tomorrow, not when things are perfect, but right now, I'd start by unlearning everything I was taught about getting rich quick. Because 2026 won't reward those who wait. It'll reward those who get that discipline is worth more than shine, consistency beats talent, and emotional control pays higher interest than any investment. The path is clear for those who see it, invisible for those trapped in passive hope. What you're about to read isn't a pretty theory. It's the roadmap separating survivors from that rare group that thrives when no one's watching. Get ready. This isn't motivational fluff, and it's a wake-up call. Entrepreneurship only looks complicated because most people run from the raw, naked truth. Funny thing, everyone wants results, but very few are willing to face the game as it is without filters. Building wealth is brutally simple. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. The kind of clarity that comes from consistency, discipline, and just enough emotional control to resist shortcuts. Most people already know what they need to do. They just run from the simplicity of it. What seems mysterious is just psychological resistance. People want motivational quotes, but they don't want to hear that self-confidence only shows up when you finally face what you've avoided for years. Wealth isn't magic, it's repetition. Daily, even when you're tired, lazy, or uninspired. That's when the game gets real. Because discomfort builds character. Those who embrace discomfort find paths that were always there. If it were complicated, you'd at least have an excuse. But since it's simple, not easy, the responsibility lands squarely on your lap. And that's uncomfortable, but it's also freeing. Because once you understand that simplicity, a new kind of strength is born. The kind that makes you see what's next. And that's exactly where most stumble when faced with reality as it truly is. Most people can't even see their own lives. They just keep repeating the same old patterns. Stuck in routines, too comfortable to risk anything, too busy to notice their lack of consistency where it actually matters. Quiet comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. And when someone mentions entrepreneurship, you can almost feel the resistance disguised as prudence. The truth? Without emotional control, you don't even assess reality. You just run from it. If you want wealth, you've got to see the world with open eyes. No fantasy filters. Those who fail to recognize the patterns, predictable, repetitive, complacent patterns, end up becoming part of them. That's why discipline and self-confidence are game changers. Seeing the truth hurts, but it also frees you. It's a reality check that separates those chasing results from those collecting excuses. And that shock opens doors only a few have the guts to walk through. Once you start seeing things as they truly are, you begin noticing opportunities that were always right there, under your nose. And here's the thing, once you see, you can't unsee. It changes everything. Habits, goals, choices. That's when many realize the problem isn't the world. It's the system they were trained to obey. The system was built to keep everyone exactly where they are. Replaceable cogs in a machine. People grow up believing that studying, working hard, and saving a little will naturally make life better. But in the real entrepreneurship game, it's not the hard workers who win. It's the ones who learn to control, multiply, and redirect their results. It may sound harsh, but that's the naked truth. The system rewards ownership, not labor. Those with discipline, consistency, and a bit of emotional control realize that wealth doesn't come from following the standard path, but from questioning why that path even exists. If the system's so great, why don't its creators follow the same rules they teach you? That one question opens the mind of anyone ready to see the truth. Once you understand how the system really works, you see there are only two kinds of people: those who obey what was designed for them, and those who redesign their own destiny. That realization changes everything. Suddenly, you see you've been playing a game that was never meant for your growth. That's where self-confidence sparks, guiding you to the next level. Understanding why so many confuse busyness with progress. Most folks mix up motion with momentum. They work all day, always doing something, yet don't stack up results. Just exhaustion. It's an endless dance, lots of motion, zero direction. Without emotional control, every risk looks like a monster. Without confidence, every new step feels like a cliff. And that obsession with safety comes with a price tag. Stagnation disguised as productivity. Fear isn't the enemy. It's a lousy boss, but a great advisor when you're in charge. The difference lies in internal mastery, knowing when to push, when to pause, and when to pivot. Once you start studying your fear, you realize it's only as big as your lack of knowledge. And that's the turning point. Understanding how money actually moves separates the ones who grow from the ones stuck in the illusion of progress. Money's not some mystical energy. It's a flow, like water through hidden channels. Most people just stand far from that flow, repeating habits that never yield results. In entrepreneurship, locating where money flows is more valuable than doubling your workload. And that's where discipline, consistency, and a dose of self-confidence become crucial. Stay in the wrong spot and don't be surprised by the harvest. Once you find that flow, the game changes completely. It's not enough to get close to the money. You need to catch it, hold it, and keep it. That takes emotional control, because managing money without preparation is like trying to hold water in open hands. Plenty of people earn well but manage poorly. The money flows in one side and leaks right out the other. The real jump happens when you learn to multiply what you've captured. Multiplication isn't luck. It's method, strategy, and vision. That's when you realize whoever controls money starts controlling their destiny. It reshapes everything: choices, priorities, ambitions. But real understanding of this flow reveals something tougher, something about power, desire, and criticism few dare to face. Wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your head. Machiavelli just put into words what entrepreneurship proves daily. Those who govern their impulses govern their results. Fear and desire are two wild horses. Without emotional control, they'll drag you anywhere. But when you master them, they become raw strength. And that takes consistency even on bad days. As you rise, you gain more than money. You gain visibility. And visibility triggers discomfort in others. Here come the opinions, the snark, the "who do you think you are" comments. That's when confidence becomes armor and discipline your shield. Want total peace? Don't grow. The bigger you become, the more people will try to tell you how to live. Growth always shakes things. It exposes what others chose to ignore. Those who get that don't crumble. They use it as fuel. Funny thing? This resistance starts early. In childhood, when we're taught to obey, not to understand how money really works. Most adults carry beliefs they never chose. They grow up told to follow rules, repeat patterns, and avoid risk. Do it this way because it's always been done this way. That kills confidence before it even exists. Without emotional control, people live on autopilot, never questioning a thing, and that wipes out any chance at new results. School teaches a lot, except how money works. Nobody talks about entrepreneurship, leverage, or value creation. Just study, work, obey. It's like training a bird to think the cage is cozy. Lack of discipline to challenge old lessons keeps people trapped. Lack of consistency in new habits keeps them stuck for years. But when someone finally wakes up and questions all that programming, freedom kicks in. It's like a veil lifting. Suddenly, the opportunities were always there. From there, they start building real value, real skills, and scalable results. That's when wealth becomes truly interesting. Wealth doesn't come from what you do. It comes from how much what you do impacts the world. That's why mastering a valuable skill is so powerful. That's where confidence, discipline, and consistency converge. When you're truly great at something, you stop competing and start attracting. In entrepreneurship, those who create value never beg for opportunities. They attract them. The gap between those who win and those who just hustle? Leverage. Working solo works. Until it doesn't scale. That's why you build systems, automation, and processes. They multiply your reach without multiplying your burnout. That demands emotional control because growth requires letting go of manual control. Without leverage, sustainable results are impossible, like trying to fill a leaky bucket with a spoon. If you really want wealth, stop selling hours and start building things that grow even while you sleep. Scalable, repeatable, time-proof assets. That's when you realize freedom was closer all along. But real freedom only arrives when you stop being the owner of your job and become the owner of assets, influence, and capital. Wealth isn't about selling time. It's about owning things that work for you, even when you're out of the game. Knowledge, business, systems, investments. And that takes consistency, discipline, and confidence. In entrepreneurship, owning assets means mastering the board. Those who rely only on effort die exhausted, with no results. Emotions aren't enemies. They're tools. desire, and fear shape behavior. When you harness them with emotional control, you influence not just your path but your entire environment. Every good salesperson knows emotion closes deals faster than logic. The difference is, you're learning to use that power for you, not against you. In the end, recurring systems sustain growth. Money comes in, businesses run, processes work without you pushing 24/7. That's when you enter the quiet, powerful phase, protecting and growing your capital. That's the gateway to real freedom, the kind that unfolds fully in the last, deepest truth about owning your life. True wealth isn't just money. It's freedom. Freedom of time, choice, and movement. Freedom from bosses. Freedom to create your own rhythm, turn work into purpose. And that takes consistency, discipline, and emotional control, because freedom demands maturity. In entrepreneurship, understanding isn't enough. Action builds results. Nobody builds a legacy standing still. The world moves too fast for those waiting for perfect timing. Perfect timing doesn't come, but the bills do. That's why confidence is the real turning point. It pushes you into the field while others are still stuck in endless planning. Freedom's earned one decision at a time, one habit at a time. Every step you take, even scared. That's what builds strength, clarity, and purpose. And one day you realize, getting rich was always possible. You just needed the full map. A map that makes even more sense when revealed from the very start. If there's one truth about building wealth, it's this. No one's coming to do it for you. There's no savior, no secret shortcut, no miracle mentor. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who change their lives begins in silence. That moment you stop consuming and start acting. 2026 is right at your door. The question isn't, what do you want? It's, what will you do today to move closer to the life you say you want? Because the discipline you skip now will be the pain you feel later. And the consistency you build today will become the capital no one can take from you tomorrow. The plan's right in front of you. The choice, as always, is yours. And time never waits. If this shifted your mindset about money and freedom, hit that like button and subscribe. There's a lot more powerful stuff coming your way.